Part 35. Being in Konoha, I can upgrade my talent entries. Author, MRMO. Chapter 342. There is no need to think about ninjutsu or anything like that. Directly reject it. Because it was improved, it was of no use to Yagami Ryosuke. Therefore, what Ryosuke Yagami can improve is basically the blood abilities he possesses. In fact, not many of them can be detected by the chat group. In the end, Ryosuke Yagami set his sights on two eye techniques. One is the Samsara Eye and the other is the Reincarnation Eye. These two bloodline abilities are not directly conferred by talent entries. The Rinnegan Eye was evolved by Ryosuke Yagami from the Sharingan Eye. The function of the entry only accelerated this evolution, but the bloodline ability was still possessed by Ryosuke Yagami himself. In the case of reincarnation, the Byakugan in the previous life is indeed given by the entry, so the Byakugan cannot be detected. But the reincarnated eye was later evolved by Ryosuke Yagami himself. So the reincarnated eye can be detected. After that, Yagami Ryosuke continued to evolve these two bloodlines, improving again and again. Although they are all borrowed entries, the entries still have an acceleration effect. It does not affect the chat group's ability to detect the two bloodlines that Yagami Ryosuke has in his body. Therefore, it is most cost-effective to upgrade the Samsara Eye and the Reincarnation Eye. But Yagami Ryosuke felt that this was not enough. He called for 4-3 to try out an idea. Chat group, I want to improve my super god, the reincarnation of the Reincarnation Eye, is it possible? Ryosuke Yagami asked inwardly. Theoretically speaking, the Rinnegan Eye can also be regarded as a bloodline ability. Although it is essentially a combination of the Rinnegan Eye and the Reincarnation Eye. It seems to be two different bloodline abilities and cannot be confused. But Yagami Ryosuke wants to give it a try and see how the chat group will judge it. Anyway, it's free to try. If the chat group feels that the Rinnegan is not a single bloodline ability, then he will choose between the two. An upgrade. If the judgment of the chat group is loose and the Rinnegan is considered a single bloodline ability, then it is equivalent to Ryosuke Yagami having an opportunity for improvement. A moment later. Are you sure to upgrade Super God? Samsara Reincarnation Eye. Sure enough it can. Ryosuke Yagami's eyes lit up. I immediately gave a confirmation reply in my heart. Okay, let's upgrade directly. Ryosuke Yagami muttered silently. The next second, a mysterious power poured into Ryosuke Yagami's eyes, followed by a surge in pupil power and some kind of wonderful evolution. Ryosuke Yagami closed his eyes and carefully he realized it carefully. After a few minutes, he opened his eyes. At this time, his eyes had automatically opened the ability of the Reincarnation Eye. The golden eyes and the pupils were white lotus-shaped. In the lotuses each lotus leaf is embellished with overlapping black megatama. Each black megatama is made up of 3 megatama of different sizes. The outermost one is the largest, and then there are 2 kinds of megatama, medium and small inside. 3 megatama are superimposed, or the inside of the large megatama is hollowed out, and there are pure white lines between megatama to outline the outline. But even the largest megatama on the outside is actually quite small. Therefore, Ryosuke Yagami his eyes do not give people an evil feeling. Instead, they are full of a sacred, majestic, and inviolable feeling. God level, the Samsara Eye. The original Samsara Eye and the Samsara Eye have evolved over this period of time. It is the middle stage of the advanced God level. And the Reincarnation Eyes after being combined into one are the bloodline abilities close to the peak level of the late stage of the advanced God level. The power is extremely amazing. And after this upgrade, these eyes have been directly upgraded by one large level. This also allowed Ryosuke Yagami to know what the previous level of the God King was after the high God level. God level. Now, his pair of reincarnation eyes are the bloodline abilities that are close to the peak level in the later stage of the God level. A single glance can instantly kill any existence below the late god level. The separate Reincarnation Eye or Reincarnation Eye are also blood abilities of the mid-level god level. They can also instantly kill the existence of the early ninja god level or below. In this case, my strongest means now is these eyes again. Ryosuke Yagami thought with a knowing smile. It is indeed the ultimate prize in the plane battle. Amazing. Moreover, he also has 1243 times the entry bonus that can be superimposed. With the power of his pair of reincarnation eyes, it is the later stage of the god level is close to the peak level. As long as it is improved by 1 or 2 times, it is the proper peak of the god level. And now, after the improvement of 1243 times, it has further reached the high-end level of the god level peak. The god level, every one the difference between small levels is thousands of times. But now, after Yagami Ryosuke's state is fully activated, the power of these eyes has almost reached 600 times the power level of the peak god level. It is invincible from the god level. It's just a 400-fold difference. What a pity. These eyes have evolved to this point and are far beyond the scope of the entry bloodline of higher god. Whether it is the entry attribute of the bloodline power bonus, or it comes with the ability to guide the bloodline of a high-level god cannot be applied to these eyes. After all, they are already at the god level. A mere entry at the high god level. The level is no longer enough. Read Bao's Huang novels, just go to Fila Novel Network. This is why Ryosuke Yagami particularly likes the entry attribute of all-round strength bonus. This entry attribute has no upper limit at all. Ryosuke Yagami's own strength is no longer strong. It can all take effect. Unfortunately, not every entry has this attribute. Of course, the all-round strength bonus Yagami Ryosuke has now received is already quite high. More than 1,000 times. It is already very high. So he won't be too picky and must get as many entries of the same type. Anyway, with his current strength, he is already invincible. Even in the face of plane wars in chat groups, even if things happen, he can still crush everyone. To put it bluntly, the plane war initiated by the chat group requires equal strength on both sides. In other words, almost equal. It's impossible for one side of you to be ridiculously strong and the other side to be ridiculously weak, right? That would lose the meaning of the so-called war. It was completely crushed in 1 year. Although, the real situation now is actually the same. But Ryosuke Yagami felt that the Hokage chat group probably had its own set of underlying logic. As for what is the underlying logic? It's simple, his upper limit is god level. At least the current upper limit is god level. Therefore, Ryosuke Yagami, a high-level god, oh no. He is now a god-level powerhouse. There is a high probability that it is no longer within his statistical range. In other words, when the Naruto chat group connects with the chat group in another world and initiates a plane war, Ryosuke Yagami will not be included in the calculation. He calculates the strength of other group members. Then use this to match. As for why the Naruto chat group just ignores Ryosuke Yagami, the most powerful person in the group. On the one hand, there is the upper limit issue mentioned earlier. On the other hand, if there was real intelligence in Naruto's chat group, wouldn't he want to win every plane war? But maybe it's his underlying logic that prevents him from violating it and can only follow the rules to connect the planes of the war. The existence of Ryosuke Yagami just allows him to not only meet the requirements of the rules, but also win every plane war 100%. That being the case, why not? If the Naruto chat group really has such intelligence, he would even take the initiative to help hide the existence of Yagami Ryosuke and give a relatively reasonable illusion. To ensure your own interests. To put it bluntly, it's mutual benefit. Ryosuke Yagami can get the benefits of plane war, and the chat group can also get some benefits that Ryosuke Yagami doesn't know about. Since it is beneficial to both parties. Then it all makes sense. Certainly. The premise of all this is that the Naruto chat group really has this kind of intelligence. Anyway, these are all Ryosuke Yagami's own guesses. As for right, the Hokage chat group wouldn't tell him either. Ryosuke Yagami doesn't need to know either. Konoha, Yagami's house. While others in the group were still discussing how to use the rewards obtained from this plane war, Ryosuke Yagami had already returned home. Then another piece of loot he brought from those pirate worlds was released from within Mahakala. This time the loot is not a devil fruit or anything like that, but a few living people. Accurately say 4.7. It's some girls. From now on, this is where you work. Ryosuke Yagami glanced at the girls in front of him and said to them in an unquestionable tone. Although the girls looked happy or angry, they finally nodded and accepted themselves. Future work. There is no other way. Before this, they have seen the terrifying power of Ryosuke Yagami. They know that it is impossible to escape. And if they die, they are unwilling. So they can only endure the humiliation and bear the burden for now. Maybe they will in the future. What about the chance to escape from the clutches of this big devil? Although even they themselves know that the possibility is very small. But how can they know if they don't give it a try? Besides, they have no choice. Mabai, take them down to change clothes, and then tell them what to do next. Ryosuke Yagami called Mabai and asked her to take these girls down and teach them about their future work. Yes, master. Mabai nodded, then looked at these girls with sympathetic eyes, and then asked them to follow him. Being in Konoha, I can upgrade my talent entries. Author, MRMO. Chapter 343. In the room. Nakajayo and her sister Nami have just put on the maid outfits that Mabai brought them. Sister, do we really want to live here in the future? Nami looks small. In fact, Nami is really very young at the moment, only 16 years old. And her sister Nakajayo is only 18 years old this year, but she has just reached adulthood. Don't be afraid, Nami, my sister will protect you. Sister will not let that guy bully you. Nyokijayo hugged her sister and comforted her. But in fact, even she had no confidence in what she said. After all, that man's strength was too terrifying. If he really wanted to do anything to their sisters, they would not be able to resist at all. The current situation can be said to be very good. At least they are just maids in this villa, not. On the other side, in another room next door, the 17-year-old Princess Waiwei also put on a maid outfit that she had never worn before. Looking at herself in the mirror, Waiwei couldn't help but sigh sadly. I can't go back. At the same time, in other rooms, Hancock, Keiya, Perona, and Nico Robin, who were brought back from various pirate worlds by Ryosuke Yagami, also changed their clothes and left the room. He walked out. Looking at the 7 girls in front of him, Mabai secretly cursed Ryosuke Yagami as a scumbag, then took them downstairs, showing them around this huge villa and telling them what to do in the future. At this time, Ryosuke Yagami has already gone to the Hokage's office. After all, he has not been back for 7 days. There must be a lot of documents on his desk that need to be handled by him personally. 27 As a villager Naruto. Even though Ryosuke Yagami is used to being a hands-off shopkeeper, what needs to be done still needs to be done. It took more than an hour to review all the documents accumulated in the past 7 days, and then he was scolded by Konan and the others. Yagami Ryosuke then took Konan and the others home for dinner. The villa was very lively tonight. After all, 7 new people came at once. As the only male owner of the family, Yagami Ryosuke would inevitably be scolded by Konan and the others again. But Konan and the others just talked about it. After all, they had been mentally prepared for Yagami Ryosuke's flirtation. However, Hinata and Ino did not join in with the same hatred, but even took the initiative to ask Yagami what are the names of Ryosuke and the new ladies. Yagami Ryosuke also introduced them to each other. Although Hancock and the others were maids, Yagami Ryosuke did not mean to look down on them. Just like in the past, Konan was the same as Yukito. This was just a trick used by Ryosuke Yagami. After all, you can't just hit the hole in one right up, right? That would make Ryosuke Yagami look like a loser. In fact, quite compared to that, Yagami Ryosuke still liked the previous process of getting along. Even though the 7 of them must hate him to death in their hearts now. But Yagami Ryosuke believes that with his charm, they will definitely change their view of him. 3 days later, everyone in the group had basically digested the rewards they had received 3 days ago. On this day, Yagami Ryosuke was lying on the deck chair in the yard and sunbathing. While drinking the juice handed to him by Nico Robin, Shuizuken. 7th Hokage Uzumaki Naruto. I finally spent all my points, and my strength has improved a lot. I don't know when the next plane war will start. 7th Hokage Uchiha Sasuke Naruto, why did your strength improve so quickly? 1st Hokage Senju Hashirama. Wow. Naruto boy, what have you done? Are you now at the peak of the 6th path? 7th Hokage Uzumaki Naruto. Haha. I don't know, I just used up points and other things normally, and I didn't do anything else. Besides, Sasuke, aren't you already invincible at the 6th path level? 7th generation Hokage Uchiha Sasuke. Can it be the same? I am already at the peak of the 6th path, and I am not far away from being invincible at the 6th path, but you were still far away from the peak of the 6th path before. The 1st Hokage Uchiha Madara Hashirama, your strength has improved a lot. Do you want to go to the martial arts arena to compete? 1st Hokage Senju Hashirama Madara, you want to trick me into going to the martial arts arena again? Tobirama has told me that when I surpass you in the group's combat power list next time, let's compare again. The 1st Hokage Uchiha Madara. Nosy trash Tobirama. Hasalama, you want to surpass me? In the next life. 2nd generation Hokage Senju Tobirama Uchiha Madara, just watch, my big brother will definitely surpass you soon. Yadam Hokage Uchiha Sarana. It's a bit boring. The ninja world has been too peaceful recently. I actually miss the previous plane battles. Is there something wrong with me? Read the cool novels and go up to Flylu Novel Network. 7th Hokage Nara Shikamaru. No, it's not that there's anything wrong with you, it's just that your hands are itchy after your strength has improved. 7th Hokage Harano Sakura Shikamaru, let's go to the martial arts arena to compete again. 7th Hokage Nara Shikamaru. It's really troublesome, then come on. The 5th Hokage Tsunade. You two are not tired of fighting all day long? By the way, you get together every day, right? 7th Hokage Uzumaki Naruto. What? Sakura and Shikamaru are together. 7th Hokage Harano Sakura. Angry/idiot Naruto. What are you talking about? 7th Hokage Shikamaru. Nara. I say Tsunade-sama, please stop messing around. The 4th Hokage Namikaze Minato. Haha. Sure enough, you young people are still energetic. The 2nd Hokage Senju Tobirama Minato, don't tell me, you look very old, you are only in your 20s. 6th generation Hokage Hatake Kakashi. Yes, Minato-sensei, why are you always talking so angry lately? Did something happen to you? The 4th Hokage Minato Namikaze. Actually, I'm going to be a father soon. The 6th Hokage Ryosuke Yagami. Oh. Really? Congratulations, Minato. The 4th Hokage Hatake Sakumo. The 2nd Hokage Senju Tobirama. Congratulations. The 4th Hokage Namikaze Minato. You're welcome. We have to wait a few more months, but, Sakumo-senpai, why do you always act weird every time I mention my wife? The 4th Hokage Hatake Sakumo. Minato, you are too sensitive. I am just feeling a little emotional. After all, my wife has passed away many years ago. If this were not the case, I would actually like to give Kakashi another younger brother or sister. The fourth Hokage Namikaze Minato. I see, I misunderstood. Phew. Yagami Ryusuke, who was drinking juice, saw the conversation between Hatake Sakumo and Namikaze Minato in the chat group, and almost burst into laughter because he didn't recognize him. Sakumo-senpai must have endured it very hard, right? Ryusuke Yagami smiled and thought to himself, should I tell him that in fact, the wife of Minato Namikaze in the group and the Kushina of his world are not the same person at all, although the names are the same, they look completely different. Ryusuke Yagami has also been to the parallel ninja world of Namikaze Minato before, and also met his wife, Kushina from another world. He thought he should look the same as the Kushina he knew. To be honest, at that time, Yagami Ryusuke was still a little emotional. One day, he would turn into a CAO thief? Although being a CAO thief or something seemed to be quite enjoyable. It was a bit different and exciting. But really when he saw that Kushina, only then did he realize that she looked completely different from the Kushina he knew. Later, he even went to several other worlds where Kushina also existed. He also discovered that Kushina in different worlds did not look the same. Very similar. Even Kushina in his own ninja world. After Ryusuke Yagami found the 643 photo registered when Kushina became a ninja, he also discovered that the two did not look exactly the same. It can be said that they are somewhat similar. But they are far less than twins. At most, they are just two sisters born from the same parents. Forget it, let's let Sakumo-senpai continue eating. Maybe he might enjoy it. Ryusuke Yagami thought with a smile. The sixth Hokage Ryusuke Yagami. By the way, Minato, since you are going to be a father, Obito from your world may soon be eyeing your wife. The fourth Hokage Namikaze Minato. It doesn't matter, I'm ready. As long as Obito comes, I promise to make him regret it. Sixth generation Hokage Hatake Kakashi. That, teacher Minato, Obito is actually a victim, why don't you tell him the truth first and see what he will choose? The fourth Hokage Namikaze Minato. Don't worry Kakashi, I will give Obito a chance to change his ways. After all, he has not made a big mistake yet, but if he insists on not repenting, then I can't be blamed. Second generation Hokage Senju Tobirama. That's right. Minato, it's good if you think so. I was worried before that you wouldn't be able to do it. First Hokage Uchiha Madara. If you can't even do this, then you're just like a waste. The second Hokage Senju Tobirama. Uchiha Madara, do you still have the nerve to speak? Have you forgotten who bewitched Obito Uchiha? The first Hokage Uchiha Madara. Trash Tobirama, you want to secretly change your concept again? The person who bewitched the universe wave Obito is not me, just some fakes. Yadam Hokage Uchiha Sarana. Speaking of which, why do you feel that the second position of Ban Ancestor is about to be lost? We now have 3 6-level invincibles in our group. 7th Hokage Uchiha Sasuke Orochimaru, how come your strength has improved so quickly? You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Being in Konoha, I can upgrade my talent entries. Author, MRMO. Chapter 344. In the past 3 days, the ones who have improved the fastest in the group are Naruto and Orochimaru. Naruto suddenly became the pinnacle of the 6 paths level. Advanced 2 small realms. Orochimaru, on the other hand, reached the point of invincibility in 1 step. Become one of the few 3-6 level people in the group. The ranking on the combat power list is only 4th. It is possible to overtake the first 2 at any time. You know, when Orochimaru joined the group, his strength could only be said to be average. As for Hiruzen Sarutobi and Danzo Shimura, who were similar to Orochimaru at the beginning, it is still hovering at the super film level stage. There is still quite a long way to go before the peak of Super Shadow level. However, Orochimaru has already reached the top of the combat power pyramid in the chat group early. Became one of the few top strong men. This made many Hokage in the group call him awesome. And people like Sarutobi Hiruzen and Shimura Danzo are extremely envious in their hearts and wish they could replace him. If we talk about Naruto's strength, they can still understand it. After all, no matter which world he is in, he is always strong. Orochimaru. Most of the time, the goods haven't even reached the super cinematic level. Could it be, is the power of science so suitable for chat groups? This is a soaring rhythm. In the future, he will just overtake the two Uchiha and become the second in this group, right? As for Yagami Ryusuke, who overtakes the number one? Forget it. No one thought this was possible at all. No, during the plane war a few days ago, Ryusuke Yagami's strength rating in the group was still high god level. And now, this rating has become a god level. Still at the late stage of the god level. That's outrageous. Everyone has improved to one or two small realms. You are making a huge leap, right? Really? There is still no comparison with this kind of monster. These people haven't even reached the god level yet. As a result, he has already surpassed the two major realms of god level. What is this compared to? There's no comparison at all. A certain pirate world. East China Sea, outside an unknown town. In the forest that still maintained its original style, a figure appeared out of thin air. The figure fell from more than 2 meters in the air and fell to the ground with a confused expression on his face. Where is this place? Who I am? What am I here for? After the initial daze, the man quickly realized what he was doing and got up from the ground in a hurry. Really traveled through time. The man looked at the plants around him that he had never seen before in surprise. He was sure. These plants were definitely not any kind on Blue Star. That said, did he really travel through time? That's outrageous. I didn't expect that such a thing as time travel actually exists in reality. Isn't that just the imagination of the novelist? By the way, chat group. The man immediately thought of something and quickly called up the chat group in his mind. 30 minutes ago, the man was still online with a certain actress's negative fans. Then he took a drink of water and planned to take a rest. He was pulled into a group called Travelers Mutual Aid Chat Group. At first, he thought he had stayed up too late and had hallucinations. But then he discovered that it seemed that this was not his hallucination, but that he actually joined a mysterious chat group that displays images in his brain. And through the narrations of some old people in the group, the man also knew that he and 99 other newcomers who joined the chat group at the same time would travel to another unknown place in 30 minutes. The world. And this kind of time travel is irresistible. You can only accept it. At first, the man was very happy when he learned about this situation. After all, it was time travel. Anyone who has read time travel online articles, it is not difficult to think of the time travel after time travel. Can you do something? Whether you take the route of domination, the route of asceticism, or the route of the harem, it will be much more colorful than the ordinary life you have now. The man thought so too at first. Even after confirming the authenticity of the chat group, he couldn't help but fantasize about how he would open a harem after time travel and how to avoid the Shura field. However, soon the old people in the group gave them to these newcomers. It was a wake-up call. I remember the original words of the old man in the group at that time were, "Do you think you can live a happy life after time travel? If you really think so, then I advise you to calm down. Why not first check the number of people online in the group member list?" So, the man subconsciously glanced at the number of people online in this Travelers Mutual Aid chat group. As a result, this look almost scared him so much that he collapsed on the ground. Number of people online, 118/6000. What does it mean? The man is not stupid, at least his IQ is that of a normal person. At this glance, he understood the meaning of the so-called online number. The first 118 is the number of group members currently online in the group. The next 6,000 is the number of group members who have joined this chat group. In other words, a total of 6,000 people have joined this chat group. But there are only 118 people alive now. More importantly, to read Bao's Huang novels, go to Filu Novel Network. 100 of them are newcomers who have just joined and haven't traveled through time yet. That's ridiculous. Emotions. 18 survived out of 6,000 people? Although it does not mean that those 5,982 people died immediately after crossing over. But this is almost the same. It's all damned anyway. What's the difference? At that time, the 100 new people who joined, including men, were almost scared to death. Immediately, a lot of newcomers humbly asked the old people in the group for advice, how to avoid falling into a box after traveling through time. The old people in the group told them that it was best to prepare various resources for survival in the wild. Food. Weapons, these are indispensable. Because you don't know where you will be after traveling through time. According to the old people in the group, more than 95% of the initial locations after traveling are in the wild. And more than 80% of them are in the wilderness far away from human habitation. What's the meaning? This means that you may not see the local indigenous people at all for a period of time after crossing, and you will have to survive in the wild on foot. If you are not prepared at this time, there is a high probability that he will die. Then become food for the beast. That's it, according to the old people in the group, you are still lucky. So what is bad luck? According to what the old people in the group said, they have seen many things that fell into boxes as soon as they traveled through time. These people either traveled to places with extremely harsh environments, such as traveling directly into the crater of a volcano, or they traveled to the sea and fell into the sea and drowned, or were eaten by sea beasts. More, it will directly travel hundreds or even thousands of meters into the air, giving you a true landing box. This Travelers Mutual Aid chat group will invite 100 new people to join every time. But not once did more than 5 newcomers survive. The mortality rate was as high as over 95% just after crossing over. The man was dumbfounded. Then he frantically started rummaging through boxes and cabinets, looking for backpacks, weapons, and other resources. Get ready for the next journey. Finally, the man completed his preparations before the last minute of the countdown to time travel. Although there weren't many things he could prepare, and the weapon was just a long sword that looked gorgeous but was actually not very tough and didn't even have an edge. But this is the limit of what he can do. After all, he is just an ordinary otaku. It's impossible to just pull out a gun, right? That's unrealistic. As for buying now, it was only half an hour, and he almost spent it sorting things out. How could he have that time? Fortunately, men's luck is pretty good. It has not become a typical case of landing in a box. However, after the man opened the chat group, he was horrified to find that among their group of 100 newcomers, less than a minute had passed since they time traveled. Actually 96 people, from Zhao, have already died. Still alive, only 4 people. Isn't this 96% landing box success rate too terrifying? Fortunately, he is one of the 4%. While the man was lamenting his good luck, he also followed what the old man in the group said and clicked on the flashing golden exclamation mark button in the upper right corner of the chat group to receive his golden finger after time travel. Join this Travelers Mutual Aid chat group, and you can receive a novice resource as long as you travel through time. This is a must-have golden finger for a time traveler. But according to what the old people in the group said, this golden finger is quite cheating. Most of the time it is of no use at all, and may even have the opposite effect. There are not many really good and useful cheats at all. Certainly. The gold fingers obtained by these old people who have survived until now are basically not particularly deceptive. At best, it's less than ideal. And after the man received his golden finger with a feeling of trepidation, I discovered that my luck turned out to be really good. I actually received a useful golden finger. God rewards those who work hard study. As the name suggests, it is the kind of system where as long as you put in the effort, you will be rewarded. Being in Konoha, I can upgrade my talent entries. Author, MRMO. Chapter 345. See the golden finger you got. The man was so excited that he almost forgot to breathe. His whole face turned red. Developed. I'm about to take off. The man only had this thought in his mind at this time. I wonder if this is the kind of system where no pain is sowing and 100% gain is achieved. The man opened the introduction to the system with anticipation. Then his face fell instantly. Because the system is not as good as he imagined. No pain, no gain? Don't think about it. How is it possible? There is not even a penny of hard work, but a tenth of a penny of harvest. It's okay, at least this is a useful cheat. The man comforted himself. But he still felt uncomfortable. The main reason was that his previous expectations were too high. Now they have plummeted 1,000 times. No wonder he couldn't accept it. At this time, the man looked at the chat group again and found that the other three, the newcomers, have also received their gold fingers, and also told the status of their gold fingers. Real or fake? The man is not stupid. He thinks that these three newcomers are probably lying. If it were him, he would definitely not directly tell others what his golden finger is. How stupid that would be. So, in the group, when the old man asked him what kind of golden finger he had received, the man's head started to heat up and he directly said many children, many blessings system. Because he had just read a novel with such a system before traveling through time. So he subconsciously thought of it. This point 083. What a blessing to have many children, haha. As a result, the old man who asked him sneered twice. The man was puzzled. Fortunately, someone quickly reminded him. Click on your own group business card and you will find out. Seeing this sentence, the man subconsciously found his profile picture in the group member list. A photo with dull eyes and messy hair. The man was very dissatisfied with his profile picture. He thought he would be quite handsome if he took care of himself. As a result, this chat the group actually gave him this kind of photo sticker based on how he looked when he joined the group. I don't know if it can be replaced. The man muttered, while clicking on his business card. Then, the man was embarrassed. Because in addition to the basic information such as name, gender, and age, the business card also contained the title of the golden finger he had obtained. It clearly said Tiendeo reward system. It's no wonder, when he said that his golden finger was the system of many children and many blessings, the old man would sneer. Obviously he was laughing at him. This is embarrassing. What is going on in this chat group? Why do even things like cheat codes have to be announced directly? Isn't it good to hide it? The man scratched his hair and was speechless. Then he curiously clicked on the profile pictures of the other three newcomers at the same time. It turned out that two of the three newcomers actually told the truth. So honest? No. Maybe they discovered this group business card in advance. The man was so depressed that he went crazy. Why didn't you warn him in advance? After all, Kjafi, are all newcomers at the same time. Right now. Ding. You have obtained a new status, please check it. The man had a question mark on his face. He didn't understand what was going on. But he still clicked on his golden finger to check. Then. He almost ran out of energy and exploded on the spot. Status, do twice the result with half the effort, permanent. Introduction, everything you do requires twice the effort, but only half the reward. Note, this is the punishment for failure in the plane war. What the hell? Why did you give me a negative buff when I first came here? And it's such a deceiving negative buff? Half the result with half the effort? I spent twice as much effort and can only get half of the original harvest? Look at your golden fingers again. Originally, only 1/10 of the hard work was rewarded. It's good now. It directly becomes 140. Haha. It's really outrageous. So, what exactly is going on? What is that plane war? I didn't participate. The man frantically reported the situation to the elderly people in the group. Result. This newcomer is quite unlucky, having traveled to a world where the plane war has just failed. To read exciting novels, go to Fila Novel Network. It's actually better to do twice the result with half the effort. Yes, I remember before that there was a guy who got a negative buff dumb talent, which was only 1/10 of the effect at any time, and he was extremely slow to learn anything. Condolences to the newlyweds, my condolences. I don't want to express my condolences. Can you tell me how to solve it? The man asked the old man in the group depressedly if he could remove this buff. The unanimous answer he got was no. Didn't you see the word yang? Accept this, young man, believe in yourself, come on. Come on? Come on, my sister. Your feelings are not your own. Bastard. The man was so angry that he kicked a stone away. Bang. The stone flew out and hit a tree. Ouch. What? Ghost. The man's face changed wildly when he heard the beast's roar. He immediately picked up his only weapon on the ground and held it in his hand. No. I don't want it to fall into a box. The man shouted in his heart. 1 month later. Part 1. The little maid brought back from those pirate worlds has adapted to today's life. From the beginning, she struggled with everything she did. Until now, she is quite proficient. And during this time, Yagami Ryosuke was also in the two running back and forth between worlds. A few days here, a few days there. He's so busy. However, even in his spare time, Yagami Ryosuke still joins the group every day to find out what other members in the group are doing recently. Is there anything interesting? Speaking of interesting things. Half a month ago, Yagami Ryosuke suddenly remembered that there had been no movement, Uchiha Obito. He thought that for so long, he had not launched the Eye of the Moon plan, something was wrong. So out of curiosity, he personally, after searching for a while, I found Uchiha Obito in Sunagakure village. Originally, Yagami Ryosuke thought that Uchiha Obito was repeating his old tricks again, controlling the poor senior officials of Sunagakure village, although Sunagakure village did not have as many blood successor families as Kirigakure did. But it is not impossible to have some kind of cruel selection. However, the fact is that the reason why Uchiha Obito stayed in Sunagakure village was because he was avoiding pursuit. Originally, when he was chased by Uchiha Madara and Orochimaru, he thought of hiding for a while, and when he was ready, he would directly become the Ten-Tails Jinchuriki. But the reality turned out to be more cruel than imagined. Before Uchiha Obito was ready, he was found by a mysterious man whom he had never seen before. The other party took away his Rinnegan. If Obito hadn't kept his Sharingan, he would have died at the hands of that mysterious man. That's true, for a while after that, Obito didn't dare to show up in the ninja world at all. Every once in a while, I have to find another place to hide. When Ryosuke Yagami found him, he just happened to be hiding in Sunagakure village. These were also discovered by Ryosuke Yagami while looking through Uchiha Obito's memories. And that mysterious person that Uchiha Obito didn't recognize, Yagami Ryosuke recognized. Isn't that just Baileahu? But when did this guy become so powerful? Can even Uchiha Obito, who has the Rinnegan Eye, be easily crushed? Later. Ryosuke Yagami brought the unconscious Uchiha Obito back to Konoha and handed him over to Konan. After that, he searched around the ninja world and found Uchiha Madara, Orochimaru, and others. Then they discovered that Beirahua, who had attacked Uchiha Obito before, was actually with them. And he also used the power of the Samsara Eye to resurrect Uchiha Madara. Even Beirahua himself has become the Ten-Tails Jinchuriki. He also has a pair of blood-red reincarnation eyes. But the strange thing is, whether it is Hirahua or Uchiha Madara, no one has any intention of executing the Eye of the Moon plan. This aroused Ryosuke Yagami's curiosity. So he spent several days spying on them. It was discovered that their current home base was in a different space. It's similar to Obito's Kamui space. But the scope is smaller, and it doesn't have Kamui's special abilities. It's just a different space, and the key to open and close the door is also in Beirahou's hands. Even the arrogant Uchiha Madara seemed to be very afraid of this Hiroyuki, and even a little in awe. Observed for a few days, Ryosuke Yagami couldn't understand what these guys were doing together. Until one day, he found Beirahua sitting alone on the cliff, muttering words like novel and game, and he was still using the Chinese from his previous life. This made Ryosuke Yagami immediately realize that this Beirahua was not a person from this world at all, but a time traveler. Being in Konoha, I can upgrade my talent entries. Author, MRMO. Chapter 346. Mahakala. Forbidden Empty Cage. This is a cube cage formed by 96 red energy pillars. It floats somewhere on the edge of Mahakala. Inside the cage, the person imprisoned is Beirahua, who is suspected of being a time traveler. And this forbidden air cage can isolate the power of space, making it impossible for Beirahua to use his Samsara Eye to escape from the Mahakala space. I can only be kept in this cage obediently. Calling the sky should not call the earth, and the earth not working. On this day, Ryosuke Yagami finally remembered this guy who had been imprisoned by him for 10 days. In fact, during the past 10 days, Yagami Ryosuke occasionally paid attention to Beirahua, who was imprisoned in Mahakala. The main reason was to see if he had any other abilities and to escape from the prison he had created for him. As a result, Yagami Ryosuke was disappointed. This guy's ability seems to be simply the ability to integrate various blood inheritance powers. There is no particularly powerful golden finger that comes standard with time travelers. In other words, his ability is his golden finger. But if that's all, then this golden finger is a bit stretchy. Brush. In the dark space, Ryosuke Yagami's figure appeared in front of this red forbidden cage. At this time, his whole body was shrouded in black mist, with only a pair of eyes exposed, but they were burning like blood-red flames. Looking from the outside, it is impossible to see Yagami Ryosuke's true appearance. This is also a measure taken by Ryosuke Yagami. After all, the other party is also a time traveler. You should give it some respect. Even though this guy's golden fingers look like they stretch his crotch. However, Yagami Ryosuke would occasionally hear him yelling some curse words, which vaguely revealed that he seemed to be able to communicate with someone outside. Therefore, Ryosuke Yagami had this image from the very beginning when he captured Beirahua. He has never revealed his true appearance at all. Beirahua. In the black mist, a voice like the whisper of a demon came. Beirahua, who was imprisoned in the forbidden air cage, raised his head and looked at the figure in front of him who was covered in black mist. "What on earth do you want?" Beirahua shouted angrily. These days, he has gone from anger at the beginning to panic, and now, he is almost in despair. "I don't know where this place is. Even his spatial pupil technique can't be used. It doesn't work. There's no way to escape at all. Even though Beirahua now has the power of the 6th level peak. But here, it still doesn't help. It's like he has returned to the time when he just traveled through time and came to this world. It was already 6 or 7 years ago. At that time, Beiliuhu was not called by his current name. Even he himself had almost forgotten his original name. Anyway, it started from the second month after he traveled through time and came to this world. His name was Beiliuhu. At the beginning, he was just an ordinary office worker on Blue Star. He enjoyed the blessings of going to work every day. He met someone he didn't like so much, but he could still make do with it. His girlfriend lived an ordinary and boring life. Originally, he also thought that he would be like his parents, get married, have children, form a new family, raise children, and grow old little by little. Finally, he left this world with regrets. But all this changed that day. Beiliuhu still remembered that he had just gotten off work that day because he had some arguments with his girlfriend about the bride price, so he got drunk outside. In a daze, he seemed to hear there was a voice prompting him to join some chat group. Beiliuhu, who was already drunk at the time, didn't pay attention. He simply felt that he had drunk too much and was hallucinating. But half an hour later, he found that he was walking from the main road. On the road, he suddenly came to a place that seemed to be a cave or something. Before he could understand what happened, he was arrested by a group of people. Later, he learned that he had joined a group called Travelers Mutual Aid Chat Group. In the group, this chat group selects 100 lucky people each time and allows them to travel to different worlds. They will also be given 30 minutes to prepare. But Beiliuhu was so drunk at the time that he had no idea all of this was thought to be a hallucination after drinking too much, and he was not prepared at all. And he didn't know whether to say good or bad about his luck. If it was good, he was arrested as soon as he traveled through time. Or not. If it's good. But at least he can still be alive. Unlike the lucky ones who joined this chat group with him, 97 of the 100 people fell into boxes. Only 3 survived. Originally, Beiliuhu, I thought I was dead. After all, I was caught by a group of guys who didn't look like good people at first glance. It didn't look like they could survive. But things are often so strange. At that time, Beiliuhu was already in despair. In addition, the welfare golden finger he obtained was a special physique that could integrate multiple blood inheritance. To be honest, this golden finger did not help his situation at all. He could not escape from that cage at all. Why? To fuse the blood successor? However, just when Beiliuhu had given up hope of survival, those who had captured him appeared again and took him to a laboratory. It was not until this time that Beiliuhu I knew that it turned out that I had traveled to the entrance of a secret laboratory, so I was arrested. After a day or two of observation, I confirmed that he did not bring any pursuers or anything like that, plus he is just an ordinary person with no chakra. He was just taken out of that cage. However, the other party was obviously not ready to release him. Instead, planned to recycle waste. Just use him as a guinea pig for the experiment. To read Bao's Huang novels, go to Phila Novel Network. It's a coincidence. This laboratory was established by the real Beiliuhu, with the purpose of studying how to transplant multiple types of blood into one person. The experiment he wanted to do was a variety of blood transplants. The other party first gave him 2 blood transplants. Then throw it into the observation room to see the result of the fusion. Normally at this time, most of the experimental subjects would die from genetic collapse on the spot. Some last longer. But it won't last more than 2 days. But Beiliuhu became 7 days. And it also perfectly integrates the 2 blood inheritances. The original version of Beiliuhu, who had just used him as trash, suddenly started to pay attention to him. In the next half-month, he received 6 different blood transplants. And the final result is still a perfect blend. This made the real Beiliuhu scream in disbelief. He wanted to figure out why his body could perfectly integrate these completely different blood inheritance boundaries so easily. But he didn't figure it out until the real Bailahu finally decided to reincarnate in this body. But it's okay if you don't know. Because the real Bailahu also mastered a forbidden technique similar to Orochimaru's immortal reincarnation. He planned to reincarnate directly into this person, thus obtaining his special physique. But in the end, the real Bailahu was in tragedy. Travelers' Mutual Aid chat group. Although they don't seem to care about the life and death of these time travelers. Even if it falls into a box, it doesn't matter. But if someone wants to take away their body, this violates the taboo of the chat group. At this time, the chat group will take action to wipe out the soul that wants to seize the body. It's all such a coincidence. Bailahu, who was supposed to die, survived because of a golden finger that he thought was completely useless, and he also integrated various blood inheritance boundaries. It was precisely because of this special physique that the real Bailahu had thoughts about his body and wanted his soul to be reincarnated into his body. And coincidentally, such behavior violated the taboos of the Travelers' Mutual Aid chat group. This allowed Bailahu to make a comeback against fate and become the master in one fell swoop. He didn't just entrust the fate of his own guinea pig. He even inherited everything from the original Bailahu, including his name. From then on, Bailahu has been hiding in the ninja world with this identity. It took him a while to figure out the current timeline, and then he didn't choose to go to Konoha or any other ninja village. But it is still hidden in the dark. Continuing the original experiment of Bailahu. Using the foundation left behind by Bailahu, he integrated the blood succession limits into his own body, silently improving his strength. Accumulate strength and wait for the right time to make a gorgeous debut. This dog. That's 6 or 7 years. However, when Bailahu decided not to be stubborn anymore and wanted to do something. But he found that the ninja world was completely different from the development in his memory. Bailahu, who was cautious by nature, did not act immediately. Instead, he secretly observed. Then, he discovered Uchiha Obito, who was being chased by Uchiha Madara and Orochimaru. Because he covets Uchiha Obito's samsara eyes, Bailahu chose to take action. Certainly. This was also because his strength at that time had reached the peak of the sixth path. Possessing the power of the blood successor snare, which was born after the fusion of various blood successors, he was confident enough to crush Obito and seize the Rinnegan eyes from him. Facts have proved that this is indeed the case. Obito was robbed of the samsara eye and had no choice but to escape with his divine power. Because Bailahu took some time to save his reincarnation eye, he didn't catch up immediately and let Obito run away. However, Obito, who has lost his reincarnation eye, just run away. Bailahu didn't take it seriously. Things are even simpler after that. He found Uchiha Madara and Orochimaru, conquered them with his powerful strength, and used the Rinnegan eyes to truly resurrect Uchiha Madara, and return the Rinnegan eyes to Uchiha Madara. Of course, before that, he had gone to his laboratory to extract the tissue system of the samsara eyes, cultivated them, and injected them into his body. With his special physique, it was easy for his fused Sharingan to evolve into the Rinnegan. Originally, after reaching this step, Bailahu planned to control a ninja village first, and then test Konoha's strength little by little. But before he could start this plan, Ryosuke Yagami came to his door. What happens after that is simple. After awakening the samsara eye and raising his strength to the level of 6th-level invincible, Bailahu was captured by Ryosuke Yagami without even passing by. Then he was imprisoned until now. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Being in Konoha, I can upgrade my talent entries. Author, MRMO. Chapter 347. Bailahu felt miserable. But he is obviously not miserable enough. Guys, I might die today. Boss Bailahu is going to die. After being imprisoned for so many days, is the enemy finally planning to take action? The onlookers were so strong that they never expected that the boss of Baliahua, who was among the top 5 in the group in terms of combat power, would fall like this. As a newcomer, can anyone introduce this big guy in Baliahua? Boss Baliahua is a legend among the group. It was originally a script that was ready to go, but it was suddenly changed into a winner in life. So smart. That's how great it is, what a pity. The boss has been struggling for 7 years, but in the end he still failed to mention the script of Invincible Flow. Who would have thought that the world of Naruto would have such terrifying existences? Sorry, boss. Way to go, boss. 6. In the Time Traveler Mutual Aid chat group, the silence of the past suddenly became lively. As one of the top 5 bosses in the group, Baliahua, a time traveler who has been in the group for 7 years, still has some energy. Certainly. Almost everyone who has joined this Travelers Mutual Aid chat group and is still alive today is a man of faith. The more 873 people are still making fun of the ending of Baliahua. As for sympathy? Sad. I can only say that it is possible. But definitely not much. As for helping? That would be even more impossible. Not to mention that the enemy Baliahua faced this time was too powerful and difficult to deal with. It's just a matter of trust. It's enough to make these people in the group afraid to show up. God knows whether what Baliahua said is true or false. What if it's a lie? What if it's a trap? It's not like similar situations have never happened in the group before. There are group members who get along well with others and have a good relationship. One day he suddenly said that he was in danger and needed help. And considerable compensation was also given. So several group members went over to help because they had a good relationship with each other and the rewards were considerable. The result is this: just go and never come back. In this Travelers Mutual Aid chat group, the word mutual aid seems extremely ironic to many group members. Mutual aid? It's more like hurting each other. I have never seen anyone really help each other. It would be nice if I didn't dig a hole for you. Just thank God if I don't stab you in the back. Still helping each other? What are you thinking? There are obviously fewer and fewer good people these days. Fortunately, there are not many fools. There are only a few people who have been deceived. Just that once. After that, even if there are group members who are really in danger and ask for help, no one takes risks anymore. After all, how do you know someone is not fishing? Therefore, most of the old members in this chat group just watch the fun. Everyone sweeps away the snow in front of each other's doors. Don't touch anyone. The chat group was lively for a while and then became quiet again. Then within 2 or 3 minutes, a reminder was like a thunderous explosion in the chat group. Ding! Group member 2355 is dead. Really dead? Many people looked at this prompt in surprise. The member of group 2355 was talking about Baliahua. Unexpectedly, he just said that the time was coming, and it really turned out to be effective. I thought it was fishing. Yes. I didn't expect. We are actually in danger. I didn't expect that big boss Baliahua would really go like this. How scary. Fortunately, the world I traveled through was just an ordinary modern urban background. So, sometimes don't complain about the low level of martial arts in your world. There are advantages to being low. Let me see, the one who killed the boss Baliahua was definitely a member of the Itsutsuki clan in the Naruto world. Nonsense. But I just want to know, with the current strength of Big Brother Baliahua, what kind of ability does the Itsutsuki clan have that can kill him instantly? Haha. How do you know that the Itsutsuki clan doesn't have such a strong person? To read exciting novels, go to Fila Novel Network. Okay, Big Boss Baliahua has gone cold, And the last member of our group from Naruto world has also gone offline. Is this the third one? The world of Naruto is quite popular. 3 time travelers have passed by before and after, and each of them died happily. Boss Baileahuo, this is not bad, he has lived for at least 7 years. Is 7 years a long time? In terms of longevity, who can live as long as Boss No 01? Boss No 01 is the only one, that is a special case. By the way, is the Boss No 01 you are talking about the first person to join this chat group? Yes, if you look at the list of group members, the first one is Boss No 01. Boss No 01 is extremely mysterious. I have been a member of this chat group for more than 3 years and have only seen him bubble up 3 times. Don't speak more than 20 words at a time. Boss No 01 travels through the world of cultivating immortals. A retreat is calculated based on tens or hundreds of years, so it is normal to have less bubbles. I also traveled through the world of cultivating immortals. But now I am still struggling in the mortal dynasty below. Sister Luo hasn't officially entered the world of immortality yet. Nope. It's difficult. The world of cultivating immortals in my world is seriously separated from the secular world. There are very few rumors about cultivating immortals in the secular world. If I hadn't been considered a top expert in the secular world now, I would never have been exposed to this level. Come on Ronaldinho. Take good care of you. Your gold finger grows slowly in the early stage, but its potential in the later stage is still very strong. When it comes to cheating, who do I have? Of course, I mean among the group members who are still alive. Haha. That means no one can compare with you. Curious / is Boss Shen's golden finger a scam? Pit. Huge pit. Although it looks very powerful, what is the name of the strong system, but it actually allows you to constantly challenge people who are stronger than you, and then you can get rewards without dying. The more people you challenge who are stronger than you, the better the rewards. But first you have to make sure you don't die. Well, that's really a trap. Yes, I basically don't use this golden finger very much. Fortunately, I joined a sect with a master, senior brothers and sisters, and they are all stronger than me, which gave me a small boost in the early stage. By the way, aren't we discussing the matter of Big Boss Baileahuo? Harm. There is no one left, what else is there to discuss? Why don't you talk about the situation on your side as a newcomer? A sea of dead fire. The pirate world you live in is in the same system as Baileahuo. I'm still a demon slayer, and I'm asked to kill ghosts every day. If I had been able to fight them, I would have killed them long ago. There are quite few people in our group who have traveled through the world of animation. Quite a few, right? There are 4 or 5 living group members. How is Mr. Chris doing lately? Not so good, I lived cautiously, and it was another day that I was lucky enough not to be killed by Azu. Haha. Chris, you are so unlucky that you are standing in the face of Captain America, but you ended up traveling to the world of black robes. The key is that when he landed in the Walter Group building, he was controlled as if he was a superpower with the ability to teleport on the spot. Rai smile / fortunately, my golden finger is pretty good, I got through it at that time. Chris, you're pretty lucky, you could have survived in that situation. Remember there was someone in our group who traveled to the DC world before, right? It seemed that he landed in Gotham City, but he was killed by a stray bullet in less than 3 seconds. After all, Gotham City has simple folk customs. Deiko Kyoshin space. Ryusuke Yagamai rubbed his temples with one hand, a look of distress on his face. I didn't expect this guy to be an organized time traveler. Ryusuke Yagamai just killed this Baileahuo. Before that, he checked his memory from his brain, and found some content about the Travelers Mutual Aid chat group. There is not much content, but there is a lot of content. Some of them are blocked and cannot be seen. For example, Who are the time travelers in the group? How does this chat group attract people? How do they time travel after attracting people, etc.? I don't know anything about these. I only know that such a chat group exists. And there are all time travelers in it. This makes Ryosuke Yagamai a little distressed. 0.8 thought, why are there so many time travelers these days, and he has stabbed the lair of time travelers? Although he is also a time traveler himself, but to be honest, Yagamai Ryosuke doesn't want to meet such an organized and well-organized time traveler. Because things will be very troublesome. I hope things don't go in a bad direction. Otherwise, I might have no choice but to run away with people. Ryosuke Yagamai has already prepared for the worst. Don't look at him in the world of Naruto, he is already far beyond the level of invincibility. But this strength may be nothing at all in the world. What about time travel? It is a mutual aid chat group. Who knows how many powerful group members there are? Anyway, Ryosuke Yagamai is not willing to take risks. If something goes wrong, he will definitely lead people to run away as soon as possible. Let's convert this guy's talent entries first. After all, he is also a time traveler and his strength is pretty good. Ryosuke Yagamai said, taking out a piece of hair. It was the hair of Beiliuhu before. It was taken away by Ryosuke Yagamai before he killed this guy. Being in Konoha, I can upgrade my talent entries. Author, MRMO. Chapter 348. System, convert it into a talent entry. Ryosuke Yagamai thought silently in his heart. Ding. Conversion successful. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the talent entry, Traveler, God, Imposter, Gold, Blood Successor Fusion, Gold. With 6-level invincible strength, it is normal to be able to transform 3 entries. And the configuration of 1 God and 2 Gold. It is even comparable to a God-level powerhouse. It's quite impressive. However, Ryosuke Yagamai wants to say that he is still not as good as Kaguya. Traveler, God. As a traveler, I have a keen sense of time and space and can travel between different times and spaces. Is it normal? Time and space perception add 15,000%. Comes with a time and space anchor. Anchor of time and space, lock the coordinates of a piece of time and space. Maybe you can try to travel through it actively. The only God level entry on this fake Beiliuhu. The properties are pretty good. The anchor of time and space allows Ryosuke Yagamai to lock the time and space coordinates of those places he has visited. Even if he leaves, he can actively travel according to these coordinates in the future. Certainly. Time travel risks, please be cautious when entering an unfamiliar world. If one of them is not good and is killed as a virus or something, that would be tragic. Therefore, if you take the initiative to travel through this routine, if you don't have some strength, you really can't play it. Ryosuke Yagamai can't say whether his strength is enough. However, there should be no problem in some lower level worlds. After all, he still has a talent entry system that helps him block information. His identity as an outsider should not be discovered. In addition, the sense of time and space attribute is also good. This attribute improvement does not only affect the time and space anchor ability that comes with it. Similarly, it is also very helpful for Ryosuke Yagamai to understand the laws of time and space. Time and space. Ryosuke Yagamai has dabbled in both of these laws. But it is passively involved. Mainly relying on 2 super god level entries, thus gaining 2 kinds of innate authority. And now, with this 15,000% perception bonus. Even if Yagamai Ryosuke tries to understand these 2 supreme laws by himself, he is not completely unsure. All I can say is, it's difficult. But it's not impossible. This entry is really good. Ryosuke Yagamai nodded and gave positive approval to this entry. Later, Ryosuke Yagamai was also equipped with this entry. As for the other two entries transformed by the fake Bailahu Ryosuke Yagamai, I took a look at it and thought it was very average. It even stretched my hips a bit. So I didn't equip it. I plan to use it to synthesize it when the time comes. During this time, he has synthesized many god-level entries. But as for super god-level entries, it's still the same 10 for now. Yagamai Ryosuke is not in a hurry, he plans to synthesize all the golden entries into god-level entries first. Anyway, a super god-level entry won't be of much help to him now. If it really helps, it has to be a supreme level entry. What a pity. At that time, not to mention explosions with low synthesis probability. Ryosuke Yagamai didn't have the materials to synthesize it for the time being. So, don't worry. Half a month later. In a villa deep in the mountains, a natural hot spring is steaming in the snow. In the hot spring, Ryosuke Yagamai rests his hands on the pebbles, closing his eyes and enjoying Hineda's massage. Is this intensity okay? Behind him, Hineda, whose face was red, squeezed Ryosuke Yagamai's shoulder muscles hard. Well, Hineda, your massage techniques are getting better and better. Ryosuke Yagamai said with his eyes closed. Tonight is a special day for Hineda. Because today is her birthday. Not long ago, Ryosuke Yagamai celebrated Hineda and invited many of his own people. Came to attend the birthday party. After the party, Ryosuke Yagamai said that he had a special gift for Hineda. Hineda didn't know what it was, but just followed Ryosuke Yagamai to this small place deep in the mountains. In the villa. Later, Ryosuke Yagamai gave the prepared gift to Hineda, and then said that there was a natural hot spring here, which was very comfortable to soak in. He asked her if she wanted to try it. Hineda blushed at the time and felt I was so nervous. But in the end I nodded and agreed. And so the scene before me happened. Half an hour later. Come on, let me press it for you. The sound of rushing water sounded. Ryosuke Yagamai made Hineda lie down comfortably, and then gently pressed her tight muscles to relax her. Hineda closed her eyes and had a small face. I don't know whether it was due to the heat of the hot spring or because she was too nervous and shy, but she was red. Even Yagamai Ryosuke suspected that Hineda's head was steaming several times. But he was not sure that the heat came from Hineda's body. Or in the hot spring. Almost an hour later. Yagamai Ryosuke took the already weak Hineda out of the hot spring. The two returned to the room, and Hineda shyly dimmed the lights in the room. This time later that night. Hineda didn't fall asleep all night long. It wasn't until it was dark outside that she closed her eyes and fell asleep. To read Bao's Huang novels, go to Fila Novel Network. But even if she fell asleep, Hineda still had a happy smile on her lips. Even in her dreams, she was full of the sweetness of love. However, Yagamai Ryosuke, who had been busy all night, was still energetic, but he just looked at the person sleeping next to him. Hineda was mature, and Yagamai Ryosuke didn't get up. He still held her tenderly, looking at her sleeping side face, with a gentle smile on his face. Ryosuke. Hineda was still calling his name softly in her sleep. Have a good rest, I'll be right next to you. Ryosuke Yagamai whispered softly into Hineda's ear. Immediately, he closed his eyes and enjoyed the happiness and tranquility of this moment. For the next 2 days, Ryosuke Yagamai and Hineda continued to live in the world of two. Life. It wasn't until the third day that they left this small villa in the forest and returned to Konoha. After returning to Konoha, Ryosuke Yagamai and Hineda went to Hineda's house together. They met Hineda's parents. The family had a late dinner together. Sister, when will you marry your brother-in-law? After the meal, Ryosuke Yagamai took Hineda and his sister-in-law Hanabi for a walk in the Hyuga clan. The members of the Hyuga clan they met on the road smiled and nodded to say hello when they saw the three of them. Ryosuke Yagamai did not carry Hokage's. She put on airs and returned a kind smile to everyone. At this time, Hanabi, who deliberately slowed down her pace, suddenly pulled her sister Hinata and whispered in her ear. Probably have to wait until next year. Hinata thought for a while and said. Ryosuke Yagami talked about this matter with her. Both of them wanted to wait until tomorrow to choose a day. This year, there is not much time left. It will definitely be too late to prepare now. Got married within the year. Next year. Hanabi's eyes flashed with a strange light, and then she looked at her sister next to her with a look of reluctance. Sister, are you going to move out? Hinata nodded. Is Hanabi reluctant to leave her sister? Hanabi nodded heavily, took Hinata's hand and said, then can I go play with my sister and brother-in-law in the future? Of course. Fireworks can come anytime you want. Hinata said with a smile. Can I live with my sister-in-law? Hwahuo's eyes lit up and she said. Well, it doesn't matter how long you want to stay. Hinata said with a smile and nodded. After getting the answer she wanted, Hanabi jumped up and down happily, pulling her sister to catch up with Ryosuke Yagami in front. Brother-in-law. The little body jumped up and hung on Yagami Ryosuke's back, and his two little hands hugged Yagami Ryosuke's neck tightly. Hanabi, what are you so happy about? Ryosuke Yagami smiled and held his sister-in-law on her back, and asked with a smile. My sister said that I can stay at your house for as long as I want, Hanabi said with a smile. Yagami Ryosuke glanced at Hinata beside him, nodded with a smile and said of course, I will prepare a 647 room for you when the time comes. You can come and stay at any time when you want. Got it? Brother-in-law is the best. Hanabi happily kissed Yagami Ryosuke on the cheek. Hinata, who was watching her sister and her future husband getting along so harmoniously, was also smiling. As for Hanabi, was she a little too clingy to Yagami Ryosuke? Hinata didn't think much about it. After all, Hanabi was still a child. That night, Ryosuke Yagami stayed at Hinata's house. Hinata, the old father-in-law, was also smiling from ear to ear. After all, seeing his daughter live, he was also happy to be a father. So he personally prepared a guest room for Ryosuke Yagami. In the evening, Ryosuke Yagami lay on the bed and watched the messages flashing through the group. He rarely sleeps now. Most of the time, I was doing other things. But the conditions obviously did not allow it tonight. Ryosuke Yagami didn't have any intention of messing around. After all, he still had to take care of his old father-in-law's mood. However, at this time, he was in the room. The door was suddenly opened from the outside. At first Ryosuke Yagami thought it was Hinata sneaking over. But when he looked up, he found that the person sneaking in was his sister-in-law Hinata Hanabi. Brother-in-law, I can't sleep. Hanabi hugged her little pillow and trotted over with bare feet. Have a nightmare? Yagami. Ryosuke asked. Hanabi shook her head, then threw her little pillow next to Yagami Ryosuke and got into bed directly. Brother-in-law, tell me a story. Hanabi raised her head and looked at him and said. Tell a story? Ryosuke Yagami was stunned for a moment, then asked with a smile, then what story do you want to hear? I want to hear the story about you and your sister, brother-in-law. Hanabi said expectantly, brother-in-law, when did you and your sister get together? Since when have we been together? Memories from a few years ago appeared in Ryosuke Yagami's mind. Being in Konoha, I can upgrade my talent entries. Author, MRMO. Chapter 349. In the following days, the ninja world was completely calm. Without the time travelers, without the invasion of the Otsutsuki clan, there would not even be the Fourth Ninja War. Obito was handed over to Konan by Ryosuke Yagami. Ryosuke Yagami didn't care about the specific outcome, since death was certain anyway. As for Uchiha Madara and Orochimaru, Ryosuke Yagami did not embarrass them. The main reason is that the existence of these two people poses no threat to Yagami Ryosuke at all. In this case, Ryosuke Yagami didn't bother to do anything to them. Anyway, as long as they don't seek death, everything will be fine. Do you really want to commit suicide? Ryosuke Yagami didn't mind squeezing two more ants to death. However, considering the wisdom of Uchiha Madara and Orochimaru, they would not do such a stupid thing. And before Yagami Ryosuke took away the fake Beirehua, Uchiha Madara had already been exposed to Black Zetsu's conspiracy. Speaking of which, Heiju is acting like a coward again. There is no trace of him in the ninja world. But if Ryosuke Yagami wanted to look for him, he could easily find him. But it's still the same sentence. No threat, too lazy to take action. In addition, Etsutsuki Ishiki, who was approached by Ryosuke Yagami before, now has completely given up the idea of causing trouble in the ninja world. He now wants to cultivate a container that can perfectly exert his wedge power. Then leave the ninja world. As for where to go after leaving the ninja world, let's talk about it then. After all, he hasn't even done the first step yet. The other ones are Uchiha Sasuke and Etsutsuki Tonari. The two stayed with the Shell for a while and then left. They didn't completely break away from the Shell organization, but returned to the inland areas of the ninja world, and then each was busy with their own things. Uchiha Sasuke did not return to Konoha. Maybe he felt that he was already a traitor to Konoha, and he couldn't bear to go back. Although Ryosuke Yagami has revoked his wanted order after taking office. But Sasuke is obviously the one who wants to lose face. Without Naruto's invitation, he simply found a city to settle down first, and then? Then he started getting married and having children. Yes. Uchiha Sasuke finally accepted the offer Ryosuke Yagami made to him as Uchiha Menma. Spread the branches and leaves for the Uchiha clan. For this reason, Uchiha Sasuke married 3 wives in the second month after leaving the Shell organization headquarters. Well, there is actually no strict monogamy rule in the ninja world. If you have the ability, you can marry as many as you want. I want Uchiha Sasuke to be a capable person. The city he settled in was a coastal city near the sea in the Land of Fire. Not many ninjas visit here, and Uchiha Sasuke once again showed his strong strength and financial resources. So it easily revived the hearts of many girls. Therefore, in just 2 months, he found 3 women who were willing to marry him and who were more pleasing to him. After getting married, Uchiha Sasuke always worked hard to reproduce. Then 4 months later, one of his wives got pregnant. This made Sasuke happy. Thinking that he had finally made a contribution to the development of the Uchiha clan. In the following months, his other 2 wives also became pregnant one after another. This gave Sasuke the idea of marrying a few more. On the other side, unlike Uchiha Sasuke who wanted to expand his family, Etsutsuki Tonari first went to meet Ryosuke Yagami after returning to the inland area of the ninja world. After getting permission from Ryosuke Yagami, Tonari left the country of fire and established a village called Tsukiyakura in the country of thunder. Etsutsuki Tonari is the first generation of Mezhikage. After more than half a year of development, the village is now in shape. However, it is precisely because of this that Yuian village is now being targeted by Union village. After all, it is the consensus of the ninja community that no ninja villages other than the 5 major ninja villages are allowed to exist within the 5 major countries. But now, Yuian village suddenly appeared and openly developed in the Kingdom of Thunder. Isn't this a slap in the face of Union village? If this develops into a mess, Union village will not bother to deal with such idiots. Maybe when you think about it, you can send a few jounin over and kill the opponent. But now, seeing Yuian village developing better and better, he also accepted many rebel ninjas from other villages. This made Union village unable to sit still. The 4th Raikage also held an emergency meeting, and then sent intelligence personnel to sneak into the moon-hidden village to find out the truth about the village. Again, the fourth Raikage looked like a rough guy. But in fact, there are fines among the rough. He is not a pure reckless man. Guanshan City. This is a city with a permanent population of more than 200,000. In the ninja world, a city with a population of more than 100,000 is considered a relatively large city. With a population of over 200,000. Even in the fire country, there are actually not many of them. It's a big city. After all, even the capital of the country of fire only has a population of 1 million. On this day, Guanshan City was in the Uchiha clan territory. This huge manor was originally the residence of the richest man in Guanshan City. To read exciting novels, go to Fila Novel Network. But since Uchiha Sasuke chose to settle here, this became the new clan territory of the Uchiha clan. At this time, the entire Uchiha tribe was decorated with lights and colorful decorations, it was so lively. Almost everyone in the huge Guanshan castle knew that today was the day when the Uchiha clan leader took concubines. And he still took in 5 concubines at once. Regarding the romantic deeds of this Uchiha clan leader, people in Guanshan City are often talking about gossip. After all, no one had married so many wives and concubines with such fanfare before. This Uchiha clan leader can be said to have set a precedent for them to close the mountain city. The key point is, other people's wives and concubines are not jealous at all. This makes many men in Guanshan City very envious. Pity. None of them had the deep financial resources of the Uchiha clan leader. The second is not as powerful as the other party. 3 words, they are afraid that their bodies will not be able to bear the burden of marrying so many wives. Don't let your wife put hats on them again, it will really become a joke. I heard that the 5 concubines that the Uchiha clan leader married this time are all as beautiful as flowers. How envious. But no, the famous beauties in our Guanshan city will all be taken over by this Uchiha clan leader in the future. Don't envy others. What you should envy is actually the families behind those women. You must know that there are many people in Guanshan city who want to get close to the Uchiha clan. Those who want to get close to this thigh have not yet had a chance. Now that I can rely on my daughter to establish a relationship with the Uchiha clan leader, that is a great thing. Hey! I really envy these powerful ninjas. In our country of fire, the status of ninjas is getting higher and higher now. Don't be envious, it's not like you can become a big shot by becoming a ninja. Many ninjas die in battles. Yes, ordinary people are better than ordinary people, and ninjas are better than ninjas. But let me choose, I will definitely choose ninja. Then you must have this talent. Let's go, let's stop chatting, why don't you hurry up and have a meal? I heard that the Uchiha clan leader hosted 300 tables of flowing water banquets this time. We are in for a treat. Same, let's go together. In Guanshan City, ordinary people are also rushing towards the direction of the Uchiha clan at this time. The last time the Uchiha clan leader held a wedding banquet, he opened 100 tables of flowing water banquets in the clan. But this time, the number of tables has increased to 300. It is enough for each of them to have a full meal for several days. After all, this running water banquet will take a full 7 days. Therefore, no matter how envious and jealous the Uchiha clan leader is in his heart, these relationships, the people of the mountain city, at least verbally, are full of praise for the Uchiha clan leader. Is this probably a soft-spoken thing? In a courtyard of the Uchiha clan. Today's groom, Uchiha Sasuke, is at this moment standing in front of a young man with a respectful face. I never thought that when we meet again, your son will soon be a father. After Yagami Ryuzuke heard that Uchiha Sasuke actually listened to his words and planned to expand the family, and even married 3 wives at once, he also came over to take a look out of curiosity. Unexpectedly, I happened to meet this guy Sasuke who married 5 concubines again. if I hadn't made sure that the Uchiha Sasuke in front of me was still normal and hadn't been taken away by some time traveler. Ryosuke Yagami would really wonder if this guy had obtained something similar to having many children. A system like Duofu. Li Majiao. However, he can also understand Uchiha Sasuke's mood of wanting to branch out for the family. After all, he is the only Uchiha that can be said to be the best in the entire ninja world. 1. As for Uchiha Madara, that guy didn't show up at all. And with Uchiha Madara's character, it's impossible for him to think like Sasuke. What is a woman? Madara only has Hashirama in his heart. I hope the teacher will forgive me. I originally wanted to invite the teacher to my wedding, but unfortunately I can't find you, the teacher. Uchiha Sasuke said sincerely. Before he got married for the first time, he did search for Uchiha Menma. What a pity. He searched a lot and couldn't find any trace of the teacher. He was still thinking about the teacher. Has he left the inland area of the ninja world and gone overseas? In fact, Uchiha Menma is just a fake identity of Ryosuke Yagami. When he no longer plays Uchiha Menma, the ninja world will naturally also this person does not exist. Since there is no nonsense, then it is strange that Sasuke can find it. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Being in Konoha, I can upgrade my talent entries. Author, MRMO. Chapter 350. Have you ever thought about returning to Konoha? Ryosuke Yagami sat and looked at Uchiha Sasuke in front of him. I won't go back, life is pretty good here. Sasuke shook his head. His feelings for Konoha are limited to Naruto, a good brother. As for the others, they are just so-so. What are your future plans? Ryosuke Yagami asked. Ryosuke Yagami can also understand that Sasuke does not want to return to Konoha. After all, for Sasuke, Konoha has more sad memories than good memories. Of course. If Naruto comes in the future, if you invite him back, that would be hard to say. For the time being, the disciple plans to live in Guanshan City permanently and develop the family first. A ninja village might be built. Sasuke told some of his thoughts to Ryosuke Yagami. Build a ninja village, Ryosuke Yagami nodded, it's okay. Recently, the Tsukian village in the Kingdom of Thunder has failed to develop, but it has been targeted by Kumoyan village because of this. If you want to build a ninja village in the future, it is best not to choose the Land of Fire. As the Hokage, Ryosuke Yagami needs to remind Sasuke to prevent him from blindly and confidently establishing a ninja village in the Land of Fire. When the time comes, Ryosuke Yagami will have to come again, which will be very troublesome. The disciple understands that even if I want to build a ninja village in the future, I will choose other small countries. Sasuke nodded and said that he had never thought about building a ninja village in the Land of Fire. Although building a ninja village was just an idea in his mind, Sasuke had already considered it. If he really wanted to build a village, the address he should probably choose to be in a small country around the country of fire. For example, the country of rain. After all, Sasuke is quite familiar with the country of rain. When he was in the Akatsuki organization, he often walked around the country of rain. The situation over there is relatively familiar. As for weather, Yuyan village will agree. Haha. In Yuyan village, which doesn't even have a shadow level master, what does it matter if it doesn't agree? It's like the Kingdom of Thunder next door. Tsukigakure village. If others don't know it, wouldn't Sasuke know it? That is a village established by Itsutsuki Tonari who was organized by him. What is the strength of Itsutsuki Tonari? Let alone a Kumigakure village. Even if it is plus Tsunagakure, Iwagakure, and even Kirigakure. The four great ninja villages can't defeat Itsutsuki Tonari alone. Of course, if they can invite Konoha, that's another matter. But can they ask? They certainly can't. After all, the relationship between the 5 major ninja villages has always been very bad. Especially the relationship between the other 4 major ninja villages and Konoha. They used to be hostile. Now, it was the 4 major ninja villages who were in fear all day long. I'm afraid that one day the 6th generation Hokage will suddenly find them an eyesore and plan to wipe their village off the map. We had a wedding meal at Guanshan Castle, courtesy of Suzuki, a cheap apprentice. Ryosuke Yagamai didn't stay in Guanshan Castle for long either. I left Guanshan City the next day. Suzuki really wanted him as a teacher to live here. Maybe he is married and will be a father soon. Suzuki's entire thinking has become much more mature than before. However, Ryosuke Yagamai will definitely not agree. After all, the reason why he let the identity of Uchiha Menma appear again was simply because he heard about Suzuki's situation, so he came to see him in this identity. Now that I have finished reading it, I am sure that Suzuki was not taken away by a time traveler. Naturally, Yagamai Ryosuke will no longer appear in the ninja world as Uchiha Menma. It's noon this day. Ryosuke Yagamai came to the Kingdom of Thunder. As soon as he entered the Kingdom of Thunder, Ryosuke Yagamai felt a chilling atmosphere. He flew high into the sky and saw a ninja force advancing from a distance, aiming directly at Yuin village, which has been in the spotlight recently. It seems that the Raikage has had enough of the moon-hidden village. Ryosuke Yagamai thought when he saw this scene. How can he allow others to snore next to the bed? With Raikage's temper, it has been long enough for him to endure it until now. If it were not for the purpose of investigating the true and false situation of Tsukigakure village, he would have long ago we have sent troops to attack Yuin village. Now, we are just about to finally take action. Just in time to watch the fun. Ryosuke Yagamai smiled slightly, and then followed the Kumigakure troops straight towards the direction of Yuin village. A few hours later, Yuin village was already in sight. Although Yuin village has developed well during this period, there is still a long way to go. Compared with the mature ninja village, the scale of Tsukigakure village is still too small. The whole village is only a small area. The population is about 2 to 3,000, of which there are about 300 ninjas. And most of them are ninjas. They are all a group of unruly and rebellious ninjas. It is precisely for this reason that after investigating clearly, Raikage decisively sent ninja troops to encircle Yuin village. Obviously, Raikage felt that Yuin village was not them at all. If Yuin village's opponent hadn't really been holding back his anger, he wouldn't have even come here in person. After all, according to the information obtained during the investigation, Yuing from Yuin village was just an ordinary shadow-level strongman. That's all. The 4th Raikage asked himself that although he was not a titanium monster like the 6th Hokage of Konoha next door, he was still at the top of the cage level. He could deal with a mere ordinary cage-level Tsukikage. Isn't it easy to catch him? Surround Yuin village for me. Liang stood in front of the ninja troops and gave an order. The team of 1,500 ninjas instantly dispersed and surrounded the entire Yuin village. The strange thing is that there are no defensive fortifications in Yuin village. There are no barriers set up outside the village. It gives people the feeling, it's like it's been ruined. As if he wasn't going to resist. DBDJ. But vaguely, Raikage had a bad feeling in his heart. Strange, what's going on? Liang frowned and thought. At this moment, a figure suddenly walked out from the main entrance of Yuin village. Liang squinted his eyes and looked at the approaching figure. Moon Shadow. He murmured in his mouth. The person who came was none other than Yuing, the 1st generation of Yuin village. A white-haired boy who looked young. To read Bao's Huang novels, go to Filu Novel Network. The boy had a band on his forehead. The ninja of Tsukiyakure village protects his forehead, wearing a white robe, with the 5 blue characters of the 1st generation Moon Shadow painted on the back. Yuing, are you here to surrender? Raikage shouted loudly. Surrender. Atsutsuki Toharan, who came out of the village step by step, smiled lightly when he heard this. No, I'm here to give you a chance to live, he said. Upon hearing this, Lei Ying's face instantly darkened. What a courage! Ying, I think you won't shed tears until you see the coffin. The Raikage waved his hand, and instantly several figures behind him flew out, attacking at Atsutsuki Tonari on the opposite side at extremely fast speeds. This level of testing is unnecessary, Atsutsuki Tonari said calmly. He waved his right hand casually. Boom! Several Kyomagakure elite jounin who rushed forward were instantly blown away. Raikage's face changed slightly. Looking at the injured elite jounin, he felt in his heart the ominous premonition became stronger. This Ying's strength. It's obviously not as simple as the intelligence said. In one encounter, he actually defeated 6 elite jounin from Hidden Cloud Village. And this kind of attack. Raikage is a bit confused. Lord Raikage. The subordinates on the side looked at him with questioning eyes. I'm just trying to be mysterious, I'm the 4th generation Raikage. Lei Ying was also ready to shoot at this moment. This time he led Yunyin's troops to the gate of Yuyin village in a mighty manner. He couldn't just test Ying on the opposite side and then lead his people to retreat. Right? If he really wants to do that, I am afraid that his name will be spread throughout the entire ninja world tomorrow, and he will become a joke to the entire ninja world. Everyone will say that he, the 4th generation Raikage, is a coward. Even the Moon Shadow village was scared. They even beat people at their doorsteps, but they were frightened by the other party, Moon Shadow. Moreover, Raikage didn't think that his side would lose. Although this Moon Shadow's strength was different from what the intelligence said, but he brought a troop of 1,500 ninjas. Even if Ying's strength is similar to his own. But are there any other skilled experts in Yuyin village? Apparently not anymore. Therefore, no matter how you look at it, this battle will be won by his side. Fight into Yuyin village and leave no chickens or dogs behind. Following the Raikage's order. In an instant, the ninja force composed of 1,500 Kyumo ninjas rushed towards the Tsukigakure village, which was surrounded in front of them. But facing this scene, Atsutsuki Tonari just smiled faintly. Followed. He waved his hand, instantly. Thousands of figures rushed out from Yuyin village. If you look carefully, you will find that these figures are not ninjas at all. Instead, they are puppets with strange shapes. This Ying is still a puppet master. Lei Ying's expression changed, and he shouted angrily and rushed forward instantly. Regardless of whether Ying is a puppet master or not, he must win today's battle no matter what. Otherwise, where will they be in the Land of Thunder in the future? Where does the hidden village stand? In the past, the structure of the 5 major ninja villages of the 5 major countries is likely to be shuffled. By then, it will not be their Kyumo hidden village that represents the Kingdom of Thunder, but this month's hidden village. Hateful. What do the intelligence officers under my command do for food? While Lei Ying rushed forward, he was also angrily cursing the intelligence personnel under his command. Not only did he investigate the wrong strength of Ying, he even failed to find out so many puppets in Yuyin village. They are like waste. Being in Konoha, I can upgrade my talent entries. Author, MRMO. Chapter 351. Thunder Escape Chakra Mode. Thunder Escape Armor. Heavy Explosion. Boom. The Yondaime Raikage's whole body was wrapped with lightning, and it hit the ground instantly like a blue thunderbolt. A deep pit with a diameter of nearly 10 meters was directly smashed into the ground at the entrance of Yuyin village. Where are people? Lei Ying looked around expectantly, but did not find Ying's figure. What are you looking for? At this moment, a voice suddenly came from above the head. Lei Ying looked up, and before he could see clearly, he felt a sharp pain on his face. Boom. A figure hit the ground, rolled and flew out for hundreds of people. He stopped after a few meters. It was the Raikage. On the other side, Atsutsuki Tonari retracted his hand and looked faintly in the distance. Bang! A figure threw away the rocks and soil on his body and climbed up from the pit. Pooh! Lei Ying spat out blood and looked at the figure in the distance with cruel eyes. Brush! Blue thunder flash! Yilei Shen Fury Thunder Axe, boom! Thunder level, boom! Thunder torture level GMI. Bang! Bang! After being knocked away again and again, Raikage was like an extremely stubborn bull. He endured the pain and got up again and again and rushed towards the opponent. But Atsutsuki Tonari just stood there with cold eyes. Looking at the Raikage rushing up, he then knocked him away with a light blow, as if he was playing baseball. Until more than a dozen times, more than 20 bones in Raikage's body had been broken. He struggled to get out of the pit again. Climbing out, Raikage wanted to rush up again, but was slammed into the ground with one foot. Boom! Atsutsuki Tonari took back his foot. Looking at the deep pit in front of him, he said calmly, "It's a boring game, it's time to end." He looked back towards the direction of the village. There, the ninja troops of Kyumo Hidden Village are also being chased by his puppet army. Yes, the troops of Kyumo Hidden Village cannot defeat Atsutsuki Tonari's puppet army. There are tens of thousands of them. The puppets rushed out from Yuin Village and killed everyone on sight. Most of the ninja troops in Kyumoyan Village were Chuyunin, and there were even many Genin. The Jonins were only a small part. The average strength of these people was special. The opponent of the puppet army at the ninja level? In just this moment, only about half of the 1,500 strong ninja army was dead or injured. That half either became corpses on the ground, or was seriously injured and lost its combat effectiveness. All we can do is wait for death. Bang! Atsutsuki Tonari turned around when he heard the sound. He saw a figure climbing up from the pit with clenched teeth. The figure's face was covered with blood. The lightning originally wrapped around his body also disappeared. It was the figure who was hit by him just now. The Raikage who entered the underground. Goodwill, but useless. Atsutsuki Tonari said lightly. Then, a Taoist jade in his hand was spinning, and then turned into a sharp blade with a wave of his hand, and instantly penetrated Raikage's body. Well. The Raikage who had just climbed up made a sound from his mouth, then his eyes widened, and he fell to the ground with a look of unwillingness. From now on, there will only be Yuin Village in the Kingdom of Thunder, not Kyumigakuer. Atsutsuki Tonari said calmly. The Raikage who had fainted on the ground could not hear him at this moment. But Atsutsuki Tonari didn't want him to answer anything in the first place, he just made an announcement. As for whether the Raikage would answer or not. Haha. Regardless of whether he agreed or not, nothing could be changed. By the time Atsutsuki Tonari returned to Tsukigakuer village, Kyumigakuer's ninja troops had been defeated by his puppet army. Except for a small number of Kyumo ninjas, except for those who escaped, most of them were killed. Of the 1,500 ninja troops, at least 1,300 died. This time, Kyumigakuer village suffered heavy losses. Especially even their home Raikage was killed by Atsutsuki Tonari, was beaten to death and has now been arrested. After that, Atsutsuki Tonari plans to control this Raikage and let him do things for himself. After all, he is a dignified Tsukage, he can't do everything himself, right? It seems like this time. As soon as I heard that Kyumigakuer village was going to encircle Tsukigakuer village, most of the ninjas recruited by Atsutsuki Tonari ran away immediately. This made Atsutsuki Tonari very angry. Next, after Kyumigakuer was dealt with, regarding the affairs of the village, he will personally find some of them and let them know what price they have to pay for betraying Yuin village. Tsukiyage's office. Atsutsuki Tonari opened the door and came in, and saw a figure sitting in his seat. "Who are you?" Etsutsuki Tonari frowned and asked. At this time, the chair turned around, revealing a familiar face of Etsutsuki Tonari. "Grown-ups." Etsutsuki Tonari was shocked and quickly stepped forward and knelt down on one knee respectfully. "Sir, I didn't expect it to be you. I'm so sorry just now." Yakami Ryosuke looked at Etsutsuki Tonari in front of him and asked him to get up with a smile. "Shiren, you are doing quite a decent job at Yuin Village," he said. "To read exciting novels, go to Fila Novel Network. Everything is in accordance with your instructions, sir, and I don't dare to take credit for it." Etsutsuki Tonari stood up and said. "Can Union Village handle it?" Ryosuke Yagami asked him. "Piece of cake." Etsutsuki Tonari looked confident, but he obviously didn't take this mere Kumigakure seriously. "That's good." Ryosuke Yagami nodded, and did not ask him what he planned to do with the fourth raikage. That was Etsutsuki Tonari's matter, and Ryosuke Yagami didn't care. Then he asked about the development of Tsukigakure village. After confirming that everything was fine on Etsutsuki Tonari's side, he got up and left. He had already watched a lively scene before. Although it ended a bit quickly, considering the strength gap between the two sides, this was actually not too slow. After all, it was really hard to separate Etsutsuki Tonari from the raikage. It was also a bit difficult for him. After leaving Tsukigakure village, Yagami Ryosuke went to several other villages to check out. Mainly it was because he wanted to see if there were any time travelers like the fake Bailahu in this world. Although it was impossible for all time travelers to be concentrated in the same world. But there was already an example like Bailahu. So Yagami Ryosuke couldn't help but wonder if there was a third one. He was the first time traveler to come to this world, and the fake Bailahu was the second. However, after some inspection, it was confirmed. Yagami Ryosuke also did not find the third one. The existence of 3 time travelers. So they returned to Konoha. Another half-month passed. On this day, it has been 2 months since the last time a new person joined the Hokage chat group. However, this time, even if 2 months have passed, and no new people have joined the Hokage chat group. The plain war interface is still gray. There is no connection to the new world. No new people have joined. The entire Hokage chat group is a little deserted. Everyone is busy. Regarding your own affairs, at the end of the day, it would be good to have 20 or 30 messages in the group. After all, except for a very few people, most people don't like water groups very much and spend their time chatting in the group. Go up. Apart from opening this group to take a look every day, Yagami Ryosuke basically doesn't talk much. He just receives Orochimaru's exclusive red envelope on time every day. Then he decomposes the clone biopheromone in the red envelope into experience points. Nowadays, Yagami Ryosuke has also accumulated a lot of experience points. Although he has been synthesizing those golden entries, the experience points are not consumed very fast. Basically, he can save 500,000 experience points every day. Looks like, after 1 month, it will be 15 million experience points. How much experience value is this? In fact, it is not that much. Upgrading a God level entry to Super God level requires 10 million. These 15 million will only upgrade one, it's just a semi-super God level entry. In fact, Yagami Ryosuke doesn't have 15 million experience points left on hand. Because he spent a sum of experience points to directly use experience points for the God level entry Lucky Star. The value has been upgraded to the Super God level. Lucky Star, Super God level. You have enviable luck. Going out to pick up money is just a routine operation for you. Turning bad luck into good luck is just a normal phenomenon for you. You never know what bad luck is because luck is always by your side. Luck add 150%. After upgrading, the luck bonus of Lucky Star has reached a terrifying 1,500 times. With this luck bonus, Ryosuke Yagami's speed of synthesizing golden entries has obviously accelerated a lot. Right now, it won't take him a few days to synthesize the remaining golden entries. At that time, you can start to synthesize those god-level entries. Combine them all into super god-level entries. This process should be completed in less than a month and a half. At that time, Ryosuke Yagami will be able to harvest a large number of super god-level entries. At the same time, you can also start trying to synthesize supreme-level entries. That's the difficulty. Even with 1,500 times the luck bonus, it would probably be very difficult to synthesize it. A supreme level entry that requires 10 billion experience points to upgrade. Even today's Ryosuke Yagami. No matter what, it also costs 50 or 60 million experience points. Only then can it be synthesized.